Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are here with week 1 of the IDM season 2, and we are facing our boy Deconfusion, aka coach of the Miami Heat Waves. He's a very creative builder, and we had a really fun match in season 1, and where I just survived because I brought a Sash Crook. Otherwise, I would have been swept by his, I think, +1 speed or +2 speed and +3 special attack circuitry. It was really scary, but I managed to clutch out a win, and yeah, this should be a really fun one. It's, as I said, week 1 of this season. I won last season, so I had to had to come back and defend my title for sure. And yeah, we got a pretty tricky matchup in the first week. He actually didn't bring the threats I thought he would bring, because he also had Hippowdon and what's called an Z Excadrill on the bench, which I felt were very good with my team, because my team, for example, has a Mediana, and Mediana is obviously pretty much checked by Sand. But I don't know if he thought I wouldn't bring Mediana because he brought Rain instead. He probably thought I couldn't afford to bring Mediana because versus Sand it just loses, even if it's a Trick Room variant, because Hippowdon and Drill always check it, always eat one hit unless I get a boost off, and yeah, he could also EQ me with his Mega Latios. So I felt like I wouldn't bring it. So the team I brought is kind of cool. I think I contemplated a lot what I wanted to go, what I wanted to do with this team, and I decided to bring Cresselia, Suicune, Crocodile, Licky, Quillfish, and Lopunny. He also left what I felt was the biggest threat on the bench in Heracross, because Heracross eats my fat core alive. I can't really beat Heracross unless I bring both Quillfish and Talonflame, which I just couldn't afford to do. Anyway, let's hop into the team that I brought. I brought a Cresselia here with Flame Orb, Psycho Shift, Moonlight, Ice Beam, and Psychic. Ice Beam to prevent Mega Latios from getting up subs versus me. I don't really want to deal with a sub Roost set or sub CM set. Even though sub CM wouldn't be too bad because it's kinda easily revenge, and I have Encore on my lob to deal with that. But I figured Ice Beam would get off a nice chip versus it, and it also has a chance, I think, to break a sub from Excadrill if you want to go that route, and obviously get some chip off on Hippowdon if it wants to come in. Psycho Shift is here because Cresselia pretty much deals with Excadrill fairly well, but Excadrill can obviously SD up and not take much damage from my attacks. So Psycho Shift with the Flame Orb would burn it and kinda make it useless for me because I have Intimidate spam on my squad. I have a Suicune that always chooses a hit. I have Lopunny that can revenge outside of Sand, so Psycho Shift was kinda clean. It also is solid versus the team he brought, because Kabutops doesn't enjoy being burned. Klefki doesn't like it as much. And Latios, if it's a Dragon Dance variant, I can just Ice Beam or Psycho Shift it. I Ice Beam the first turn pretty much, and then can Psycho Shift him next turn when he's when he's Dragon Dance, when he reveals the Dragon Dance. But I didn't expect really Dragon Dance Lati because my physical walls are so strong. I have a Crook which kind of shuts down DD Lati. I have a Q and I have a Crest, so didn't really expect that to come. Suicune this time is AV because Lysethon is just a bitch to deal with. If he specs he can 2KO everything on my team besides Max to Death. Suicune, but I couldn't afford to bring Max to Death, I think, and even then after Rocks or Spike, he could have just 2KO'd me with Shadow Ball. Obviously I could have made a switch into Licky if I see that he specs and then Wish Pass into Q, but definitely would have been annoying to deal with for sure. And AV also allows me to check stuff like Latios decently if it's just 4 attacks, because then I can just Mirror Code it or Ice Beam it. I have Ice Beam Scald, Extra Sensory, and Mirror Code. Extra Sensory was pretty much only for Heracross on the switch and potentially or Toxicroak. Heracross otherwise would be a very solid switch into Q, because obviously Guts is a thing and he would have appreciated the Scald run, and Scald doesn't do much to Heracross because that thing has really solid split F. So this set here pretty cool. I have some special attack EVs on this, but it's mainly there to check his special attackers. And looking at his team, he brings a Rotom Mao, which even if it specs can never knock me out even after rocks, and I can potentially catch this thing on a Volt Switch with a Mirror Code and then dish out some nice damage on whatever wants to come in. Crocodile is a very slow Scarf variant. I have just enough speed to outspeed his fastest mon, which is Mega Latios. I think I only hit like only hit like 352 speed or something. Maybe a little bit more to like speed creep or something. But that's pretty much it. I have Earthquake, Crunch, Pursuit, and Stealth Rock. I couldn't fit Rocks on another squad. Rocks aren't as important in this matchup, but nice for Lopunny to clean up because Politoed, if he's next Death, it's better if he takes Rock damage because then I have a chance to KO him, I think, with Return, otherwise I don't. Or like I do have a chance, but like a very slim chance. With the Rock maybe it's guaranteed, I don't know. But obviously Rocks are nice for Blacephalon, Latios. Latios, if he's offensive, after Rocks is 2 KO'd by Return, I think. And yeah, the rest of the squad obviously gets shipped down easy as well. So that's nice. Licky here is a Wish passing set with Dragon Tail and Toxic. Yes, entirely shut down by Clefty, but it can always Wish up. And it's like a very solid secondary check to Blacephalon and to Mega Latios, because I always shoot any hit, even from plus 1 Latios or plus 1 Blacephalon, I can Dragon Tail them out. If you CM Latios, I can just Toxic it and Wish up and potentially like phase it out of the Wishing up or something. Even though like plus 1 side shift would be close to a 2 KO, I don't know, but depending on the set, obviously. But I would have been able to deal with it. Obviously, I could have just Wish passed into Croak and Pursuit Crobats or something like that. I don't have Rapid Spin on this team, which is kind of unfortunate because my opponent has a Clefty and actually decided to bring it. Clefty spikes would be really annoying because like my entire team is grounded, which besides Crest, which is unfortunate. But I figured with Wish support from Licky, I'm fine versus Rocks, because Licky, looking at the squad, Licky comes in versus everything, can Wish up. Is not too killed by anything unless he specs with Cephalon or like has like a modest breaker or something, and even then I can wish protect up and be out of range after he gets to -2. So it gets itself healthy with the wishes and can always wish past stuff that has to take the spike damage and then gets back to full because Licky has such a massive HP stat. Quillfish here is my Heracross check, but also my Rain Sweeper check, which is a good bring. Had I brought Talonflame over Quillfish, Kabuto would have been a big problem. So I decided to bring Quillfish as my Heracross check. It's Rocky Helmet, Intimidate obviously, with Spikes, Toxic, Pain Split, and Aqua Jet. I didn't really need Scald or anything. Aqua Jet would have just been nice to potentially revenge kill a Blacephalon or a weakened Excadrill, for example. I didn't really need another attack because Liquidation didn't do much to anything at all, so I figured, yeah, no need to bring a different attack, and Poison was pretty much useless versus Team 2. But this thing here, looking at my opponent's squad, the only job Quillfish has is to maybe get a Toxic off on something and then like switch into Kabuto's once or twice, get some Rocky Helmet chip off and go from there. Lopunny here is an Adamant set because my opponent's fastest mon is Mega Latios. I outspeed Mega Latios by 1 point. And Adamant Lob just goes in versus my opponent's team. I'm Drain Punch, Return, Power Punch, and Encore. Encore is nice for Clefty, obviously, for the Latios, for Karma Blacephalon, for Rest Politoed, Rest Toxic or something, for like some weird Rotom set, for setup users like this thing like Excadrill outside of Sand. Yeah, Encore comes in really handy versus my opponent, and Power Punch plus Return plus Encore allows me to pretty much 1 versus 1 his best physical answer, like physically defensive answer to Lopunny, which is his Hippowdon. And Hippowdon, like, if he switches in on, let's say, a Spike or Rocks plus a Return from Lopunny is at like 60%, and he would be 2 KO'd by 2 more returns. So he's kind of forced to slack off, because if he attacks me, I can just like 2 KO him or go Qn and then get a big skull off and force him to switch out basically, because he would die to a Surf, for example, if he's not especially defensive. And like if he slacks off, I can Power Punch on the slack off and then Encore him, and then Power Punch with +2, +3, and if my opponent doesn't have a Scarfer, I can just like win from there with low bunny. So that's kind of the plan there. Drain Punch just to like get health back versus the Hippowdon if he wants to Earthquake Spam versus me, and to like Oko the drill anyway without risking high jumping. And every mon on my opponent's squad is like 2 killed by +1 Drain Punch anyway, or like Oko by +1 return, where like high jumping would do the same damage as return, like would guarantee me the same Okos or 2 kills, so return Drain Punch was pretty safe here. But anyway, let's go right to the game. I actually decided to lead over with my Crook, thinking Klefki might be a spikes leader, and I wanted to deal with that as quickly as possible. Another like set that another mod that he could lead with was the Rotom, in my opinion, because like Rotom could just voltage out freely or get a hit off, and if he Scarf, I can scout for that by switching out into my Crest. And yeah, he actually leads with Rotom Mao, which is nice, nice for me. I can just scout it by switching out, and if he also switches out, I know if he's Scarfed or not, because whoever moves first is faster. And I go into my Crest. He has the Leaf Storm, and now I will, as I reviewed my flame up here, I will double out back into my Crook, because if he's Scarfed, he will switch out, potentially into Latios or Keys, which my Crook matches up fairly well with, or can even Pursuit Trap the Lati if I want to, even though like I would be more inclined to go for Crunch first, because like it's just a safer play in the first couple of turns. But and if he's not Scuffy, he will go for Voltage, and I can block that. The damage he did revealed that he's uninvested in special attack, and he's not like modest or anything. So I knew I could shoot any hit he wants to throw at me. Even if he doubles Leaf Storm, I would have taken like 60. And now like I think this mon might not want to stay in here, because like a knockoff would be annoying. A potential Z move that I could go for with my Crook could be annoying for him. So I decided to get on my rocks here, try to pressure his switches a little, and like if he goes Politoed, I can like easily switch out into Crest again, or into Q, or even into Licky Licky and shuffle stuff around with the Dragon Tail. But if he stays in and goes for Leaf Storm, that's fine, because I don't even take 60%, and I don't really need help on my Crook, because I only needed to kind of revenge kill the Latios or the Blacephalon, unless Blacephalon was Scarf obviously, and to like get a hit off on Klefki, and I don't need HP to do that. So yeah, I go for my Roxy, and he actually decides to Leaf Storm again, which is kind of unfortunate, but not the end of the world. He gets a very high roll here, which I think it was close to the max. I think he would have done like 47 to 59 or so. But like it doesn't really make a difference, other than potentially switching in on the specs Shadow Ball from the Cephalon. Doesn't really matter. So I go for Leaf Storm again. Now I'm like, yeah, fuck, he probably has the defog on this thing, because like Klefki doesn't want to bring defog if it's designed to potentially check him. But Vienna could have imprisoned for that, and like if he has spikes, he doesn't want to defog them away. So I'm forced out here with my Crest, see defog. So this is unfortunate. On this next turn, he finally switches out as I Moonlight up. Want to keep this thing healthy, and here I think the first switch I make is go into my Licky Licky, seeing what this Latios wants to do versus me. And he actually fires off an Energy Ball trying to catch a Q, but Energy Ball would have bounced. Like the Energy Ball does like 24 to my AV Q, but I didn't really want to go Q, because if he's Carmines, he can set up on Q, which is annoying, unless I have Raw. Obviously doesn't know that I'm AV yet. But Licky Licky can just come in and go for Dragon Tail, but he makes it smart to play and goes into Klefki. And like now I'm pretty much forced to go hard into Crook, because I can't afford this thing to go for 3 spikes or so. I could have wished and then go into Crook, but I really want to catch this Klefki as early as possible. So I go hard into Crook, I see set up a light screen, and I'm like, yeah, fuck that. If he has the reflect, oh, you see the move now. But if he has the reflect, he would have gone for it here. And like, otherwise his switch-ins, because he doesn't know that I'm scuffed yet, are kind of limited. If I'm a Bulka variant or something, he's in a bad spot by switching out into Politoed, because I get massive damage off, and Politoed is kind of important for him to check Lopunny, to check Suicune with a potential Toxic and Encore shit, and like to just pressure my team with Toxic. So I go for the Earthquake, and doesn't doesn't go for a move. He probably went for Flash Cannon, which he told me afterwards he had to KO me, but I just go for the Earthquake. He probably thought that Earthquake wasn't a safe play at all because he has Rotom now, which is a very solid switch in if he's defensive, and he also has the Latios, which with his Commander gave him a free switch in. But I figured because he doesn't know my set yet, he's like he doesn't have to make the aggressive switches on my Crook, and probably just can stay in if he doesn't have the spike, which he told me he did not have. His lefty is kind of useless versus me because I think he told me that this set was actually Yapapa Berry or Fiji Berry or whatever with recycled Flash and Imprison to kind of check Medina, which is a smart bring. Had I gone for like had I brought like a dual stab Medina or something, then like even +6 definitely would have found and he like could have walled me, but yeah, he like Lefty goes down. This is nice for me because now I don't have to play around potential T-waves, potential spikes and shit like that. I really didn't want spikes up on my son. That worked out fine. He goes into Blacephalon now, and I know that he probably wants to double out, unless he's Scarfed, and if he's Scarfed, Suicune is a fine switch. And now he pretty much can scout for the Scarf set by just switching out. If I'm like not Scarfed and he switches out, Pursuit would have been a sick play, but I can't really give a Scarf Blacephalon a boost here, so I can't risk this play. And obviously, like, I'm locked in anyway, so I can't click Pursuit, but I wouldn't have clicked Pursuit if I was, like a Black Glasses variant or something. But anyway, I go to my Q in here, as he makes a smart switch into Rotom. I would just go for the Mirror Coat here, I don't lose anything by that. At this point, I know he's not choiced, so Mirror Coat is free because he can't trick me anything. So I get some nice chip off with the Mirror Coat. Yes, he Volt Switches. Had he Leaf Stormed here, I would have just knocked out his Rotom, which would have been nice, but makes a smart land Volt Switches, so knowing that I can't go Crook on a potential Leaf Storm, which is smart. Now he probably knows that I'm AV because the damage is as well, and he goes into Latios, which takes some nice damage there, but reveals to be like, I think max HP. I wasn't sure on the calc. My math was kind of wrong, I think, but he like probably is like a Botia Latios, I figured, but wasn't 100% sure on that because like I forgot how Miracle worked. So anyway, if it's like 1.5 or 2.0, but anyway, I got to my Licky here as he roots up. Fine with me. I have a pretty free Toxic here now because Toxic Immunity is gone, and he goes into Politoed. Politoed could be annoying if he's like a Whirlpool Perish Song set, which I actually could have, which I actually expected versus my squad, because as you see, like Cresselia, Suicune, and Licky as well as Rufus all can't touch the Politoed anyway. But I can just easily scout for that set by clicking Protect here. Don't lose anything by that. If he switches out, he switches out. If he goes like Kabutops, I can just Dragon Tail or go to Quillfish on the SD or attack or whatever I want, whatever he wants to go for. And like, if he is the Whirlpool set, I can Dragon Tail him out on the next turn. So that's kind of like everything he goes for is fine with me. I go for the Protect now, and he reveals the Toxic, so it could still be like Toxic Whirlpool or something like that. But I also think like if he gets Toxic, he probably wants to have Encore because that checks Suicune fairly well. It's a set that I've run in the past to check a Suicune, so it's not out of the question that he brings Encore, and probably has Rest too, because Rest is like kind of staple on Politoed. And anyway, at this point of the match, I think there's Toxic, Encore, Scarlet, and probably Rest, or maybe like another attack or something. But Rest makes sense because he doesn't want his thing to be toxic without having a Cleric around. So Rest Politoed could function as a nice status absorber here. Knowing that he could Encore me, and knowing that he knows that I have a very free switch into my Cresselia, I actually decide to stay in and Dragon Tail, I think, or Wish Up. Yeah, I actually Wish, because I figured he wanted to switch out here versus whatever like my play was, because if he stays in a Toxic on my Crest, he loses momentum. I can like just Psychic Spam, get some nice chip off on whatever wants to come in. Even if he goes Ladi, I just go back into Licky, or I can go into Crook. But yeah, I figured him switching out was more likely than him going for Toxic again, because I have 2 immunities to Toxic at this point, and he didn't gain much by going for Toxic on this turn. Now he goes into Kabutops, I can Wish Pass into my Quillfish, get the Intimidate off. So he actually reveals to be Knockout Kabutops, so His rock knockoff probably like Waterfall and Astonish, but I wasn't quite sure on the set, which will come into play later. Knocks off my Rocky Helmet, but it's fine with me. I can like revenge kill now with the Drain Punch, and he actually reveals to be adamant. The Jolly Kabuto would have done 19% max, and he actually got 20, so it's adamant for sure. And now I can just Toxic it. I'm back to full. I chew any 2 hits, even if he's like Earthquake. But now he SDs up, so he's SD knockoff. I figured he's SD knockoff in dual stat, but I wasn't sure he could affect his superpower for Lopunny. That will come to play later, but it's like not that important. But anyway, I get the Toxic off. Now I will Aqua Jet to put it in range of 2 more Toxic turns after this turn. I see Continental crushes me. Fine with me. I don't really care. Politoed actually reveals to be Damp Rock on this turn because Rain Rain stays for 8 turns here, but not too bad, not too bad. Quillfish goes down and pretty much did its job. It's kind of useless for the rest of the team besides Blacephalon. I'm still very sure I can deal with Blacephalon because Lob outspeeds, Crook outspeeds because he's not Scarf, and I still have a Suicune at 76%, so not too worried about that. I go into my Crook now to get the Intimidate off and then like switch out into my Licky. I think like even if he has the superpower, he can't 2KO me because of the drop, and I can like protect follow the little wish up, and he would go down to 2 more turns of Toxic, so Licky would have been free to just protect on the next turn. I really contemplated going for Pursuit here, but I didn't feel like it was worth it because Licky is just a safe switch in general, because even if he switches out, like what can really touch Licky? Nothing really beats it unless it's like Calm Mind, Sub-Calm Mind Blacephalon, which I can deal with my Suicune into Lopunny, so Licky is safest play in the world here, and he switches out into Politoed, so I can protect again. Oh no, switch out here, trying to catch him on the Toxic. Yeah, he goes for the Toxic. Didn't want to protect here. Now I can just Psychic here on this turn, I think. Maybe I switch out again. Yeah, I double back into Licky, so nice double switch, triple switch, whatever. And he reveals the rest, which I kinda expected, but not the end of the world. I knew Politoed was gonna be annoying in the game, but with Wish support from Licky and obviously the Crest, I can beat last month Politoed easy, and obviously Lopunny, if I get the Power Punch off and if he's not Rest Talk, which he definitely could be, but I don't expect him to be, one versus one wins it easily. So I just go for Dragon Tail here, not wanting him to burn too many turns of sleep. He burns 1, didn't reveal the rest, and yeah, this is cool. Goes into Rotom now. I just go for Protect to see what he wants to do. He goes back into Polyton. He burns his second turn of sleep, which is kind of unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Goes into Blacephalon. I think I Dragon Tail. No, I wish up because I want to see if he's specs, obviously, but I figured he didn't want to go for the fire move anyway, because in the rain obviously wouldn't have done shit. So I go for the wish, and like if he switches out, I can probably wish up my Cune or my Crest or even my Crocodile, which is nice. But yeah, goes into Rotom on the switch out, as I am able to wish up my Suicune on the Volt switch. So Cune is back at full, and Licky proving its worth. Latios comes in. I can't really touch it. I don't want to go for Mirror Coat, which actually would have done like a decent amount because Psyshot is also Mirror Coated back, I think. But I didn't want to go for the Ice Beamer, so because I still didn't know if he was Calm Mind, and Licky dealt with the Calm Mind fairly well. Yeah, I have a free Dragon Tail again. I don't expect him to like stay in and let this thing get toxic because he has like 2 minutes to toxic at this moment. I'm in Politoed and Kabuto, and I Dragon Tail him out into Kabuto, which is nice because Kabuto takes some toxic damage on this turn. I know he's probably more inclined to switch out, and I just wish up, which is my safest play here, definitely. And I can wish up my Cressy on the switch into Toad, miss the Toad obviously because I'm burned, and I can just like start to spam Psychic here, I think. Oh no, a Psycho Shift predicting him to switch out into Latios, like just standing a little. It was kind of unnecessary, but if he stayed in, he would have taken some nice chip from the burn. So solid play, I would say. Kind of unnecessary. I think I go back into the Licky here now on his Lati. No, I just go for the Ice Beam to get some damage off. Fair play on my part, I guess, because I want to force this thing to roost and then go potentially into Lob and Encore it. But yeah, I can just Psychic here versus the Toad. He goes for the Encore, Encores me into Psychic, which is fine. I outspeed it actually. I don't know if he grabbed me, but I have like 20 or 24 EVs in speed, I think. So I force him to rest now. This is pretty much the freest Lopunny switch of my life. If he doesn't realize that, Adam and Lopunny gets a kill here now. He definitely should have switched out if he had he realized that, but he didn't, or he like just didn't care. I can go into my Lop now and click return. I can't go for the high jump kick because, not high jump kick, power punch because if Latios comes in, I don't kill with power punch, plus burn damage, plus 1 return. So I just go for 2 return to which, to a chaos and because of the burn damage. So the cycle shift coming in handy here, otherwise it would have been a roll. But Kabutops comes in and I'm like, I saw a Continental Crush, so here's Stone, I saw Knockoff and I saw Sword Stance. Waterfall I live easily, like I take 75% or so, and if he if he is not superpower, I win right here by clicking Power Up Punch, because Rotom does not actually kill me, even though like +1 return, +1 Drain Punch don't knock it out. I can Drain Punch enough health back where to a point where Thunderbolt or Volt Switch don't kill. And I wouldn't expect him to go for the Leaf Storm anyway, but yeah, if he makes a hard play and like as these up and I go for the Power Punch, I'm guaranteed to win here 5-0. But if he's superpower for whatever reason, which like I was fairly sure he couldn't be that sad, because like superpower, Stone Edge, and Knockoff doesn't really do much with me. Waterfall and Rain is too strong to pass up to like break, for example, the Ruby Crest. And like he would have kind of been walled by Dalmice anyway, regardless of what he had. But I was like kinda sure he had Waterfall, but I didn't want to risk Lopunny because Lopunny guaranteed wins at this point if I play my cards correctly. So why would I risk that? I can just go into my Suicune here on a predicted Stone Edge, but he actually goes for the Swords and so it was the play he had to make, I think, to come back into this game. But because of the toxic damage, he can't really do too much with me to put himself in a position where he can win. So Suicune comes in because I Wish Blast into this thing. I know I'm out of range of a +2 Stone Edge, which is nice. I could sack my Crocodile here, but I still want my Crook to be able to revenge the Blacephalon. And he does 71% with the Stone Edge, and I kill him with the Skull. So this thing comes in here, and I know I live a Shadow Ball unless he's like unless he specs, and if he specs, I still have a chance of living it. And if he like goes for what's it called? If he goes for a Shadow Ball, and I know he reveals the specs, I know I can go into Lopunny and claim a kill by clicking Power Punch into return. So I have no reason to save my Q here because it loses versus the other 2 remaining mons on the squad, even though like I still could have wish it up with Licky Licky versus Politoed, for example, and then like fire off Mirror Codes versus Rotom, for example. But I think it's like way more important for me to just click Scalpy, because if I switch out into, for example, Licky and he goes for a sub, I could be in a very bad spot. So I didn't wanna do that. So just go for the Skull TRC. He does 24% with the Shadow Ball, and this means like he's definitely timid. And because I do, as you see now, 68% with my Skull, I know that he's also max HP or close to max HP. So what this tells me is he's like Life Orb, which he showed, and he probably like is a speed boosting nature. I totally blanked on that when we played, but I should have noticed that. But I know at this point, because of the special attack investment, I know that my Lopunny takes any one hit from this thing, because the Shadow Ball did so little, he wasn't likely to be max special attack, and my Lopunny is actually designed to take one unboosted Fire Blast after rocks, or after 2 rock switches. So I'm very safe with my Lopunny now, and I can revenge kill it with the Power Punch on the next turn because Blacephalon is shit defensive. So I can just sack my Q here to the Flamethrower. I didn't want to stunt and go into my Crocodile, and he only has 2 more hits left. And yeah, I actually didn't realize the speed boost. Had he crit me here, he actually could have won the game potentially by stalling me out with Politoed plus Rotom. But at one point, I would have probably like gotten split death drops with the Cresselia, and like I could have stalled him out for like 60, 70 turns to finally beat the Toad, but would have been very annoying. But anyway, I go for the Power Punch here. If he crits me, he kills me, which would be unfortunate because then I would have to sack another mon. And yeah, that would have been not nice. But goes for a Fire Blast, does 86% as my calc said, and I knock him out. So this is nice. Gets you +1 off, and now Rotom comes in. I know I can't kill with the return, but if I Drain Punch and like he Volt Switches, he doesn't knock me out. I think Leaf Storm has a chance to knock me out, but depending on what I gain back, depending on his HP stat. But I go for Drain Punch, he gets to 64%, so go back to 50, and I think I'm out of range for, no, I'm not out of range of Leaf Storm, but he decides to click the voltage anyway. Now he goes into this Politoed, which hasn't burned his sleep turns yet, and I can 2KO that. And Lopunny will be able to clean up here, so this is gonna be GG. It is Aki for week 1 of the IDM. I'm very glad I came away with the kill, but I think the team I built matched up very, very well versus what he brought. He probably didn't expect this squad to come, and yeah, him not bringing sand really helped me out with like really helped out my boat to stay around, and it really helped Licky to keep the squad healthy, and not having spikes on my side of the field really hurt him. Maybe he should have brought spikes, but I guess why he brought the Clefty set was actually a pretty smart thing. So Lopunny is able to clean up when you get the nice 4 win here. Good game to my opponent, definitely a fun match. I really like his prep. Like the Sephiroth is cool. He's like, he always, like what I've seen from him, he always gets very creative with his builds, but I was able to like get the win here, thankfully, and didn't want to say outplay, but like outvote him. That's what I wanted to say, because my pet stuff like just hung around for too long, and Lopunny was able to clean up. So we started with a win into season 2, which is nice. In a really tricky matchup in my opinion, but we were able to clutch it out, and yeah, this is nice. I'm really glad to start 1-0, but long season, I think 10 or 11 weeks, and yeah, we definitely want to go to the playoffs and defend our title, but we will see how that goes. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.